First things first, how are you?
Fine. Amsterdam is a very beautiful city, so we very enjoyed the day tonight.
Okay, well, I think Amsterdam enjoys having you as well. What I want to start with before we talk about waves and what you've been up to lately, do you remember the first album you ever bought with your own money?
I ever bought, maybe not, but I remember my first love was like something maybe like Pedro The Lion, Control.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very deep. Yeah, my first love.
So why this album?
It's very intense, and I think I listened a lot to folk music, and so I enjoyed Pedro The Lion. But on this album, they made something different. It's way more powerful, and it's something like you cannot understand how they could put that much intensity inside music just with normal instruments.
Did you play music at that point?
No. First I start with a computer with FruityLoops, and it was just like a video game. But yeah, I autodidact.
Right.
So yeah, it was learning by playing at first.
And the interesting thing, I think, I don't know exactly how old you are, but with our generation, so to say, we grew up with the internet, so we had YouTube and we could watch and teach ourselves. So how has that played a role in, especially early on in your development as a musician?
Yes, computer was like the possibility to. I think we are more like creator than musician or photographer or anything else. All the tools are just there. You just have to raise your hand and grab it. And I think with a computer you can start whatever you want. After you have to, after that you have to make it deeper and choose some other tools to make it larger. But at first you can try a lot of different things, and I think it really opened wide the creativity. So I think it's a good point.
And well, you mentioned you started with FruityLoops. Was there something you were looking for in your music, a certain mood, or what were you trying to make?
Express myself. I wasn't interested by video games or I was drawing a lot, but wasn't enough, and I have just this small computer and somebody give me FruityLoops, and without thinking about anything special, I was enjoy it. So it was very fun to play with, and that's all. And then start just to say some small loop. Then you want to make a full CD and print it and make the cover, and then I start to build songs.
So how long did it take you from starting with FruityLoops to making something that you thought, okay, now I can show this to somebody, I can show this to my friends, to my parents maybe?
I think it was Myspace.
Okay.
Myspace make you show things like social media today, and rest in peace Myspace. But yeah, it was just to try. I put 2 or 3 songs on Myspace, and I have some reactions. So somebody asked me if I want to play the track in a party. And I said no, of course no. And then I think it started to create something inside of me, like maybe one day. Yeah.
So how do you go from where it's kind of a hobby, or like you say, you're not sure if you want to share it, to being in front of people and performing and thinking, hey, maybe I can do this, maybe I can become a musician, so to say?
I think it come more from people around me at first, because I wasn't especially interested by concert or stuff like that at first. It was just music. But people told me you have to go on stage, and I was surrounded by friends who wanted to do it, so I did it, and I finally enjoy it. But in a second time.
Is it in that sense? Is Pale Grey, is that your first band, so to say, or did you have?
Quite, yeah. I was in a small folk band before, but yeah, Pale Grey is already maybe 9 years old. Not on this shape, not with this shape, but yeah, it's we know each other for our childhood, so yeah, that's quite our first real project.
Right, because I saw, well, they called your previous record Best Friends. I read everywhere that it was debut album, but then I read somewhere else Put Some Colors.
Yes, it was a small EP. Our first records.
So you said the first one. So how do you look back at Put Some Colors? How do you look back at the music that you made in that time?
Sometimes I listen to it and sometimes it sounds cheesy for me and very different, but we cannot deny it because it's us. It's like an old picture and you have different hairstyle. And but it's you have to deal with, and it's a good news because you have to deal, and deal is a good thing. And
can you hear because you say you listen to it every once in a while, can you hear what you were trying to get at, or can you hear what you wanted to get out of the music? And maybe at that time your skills weren't there yet, but
yeah, maybe. But I think now we were trying to. I think it's very different. I think we were more like. Reproducing something we hear and discovered what we can do, and I think now we know more about us, and we know more what we really wanted to do, and not just to be like, but only be.
Right.
That's cool.